meeting to order at 7 p.m. tonight. If we would please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At Richmond Community Schools, we provide a quality education that empowers students to be successful in a global community. We will begin tonight by swearing in the board member elects to the office. The acceptance of office has been completed and filed with the board member elect Deborah Machon on December 3rd, Bridget Shoeboy on December 4th, and Margaret Telto on December 2nd at the district's administration office by Notary Public Darlene McNichols on behalf of the Secretary of the Board of Education, within the required 10 business days after the district received notification of the certificate of election from the district's election coordinator, Frederick Miller, Macomb County Clerk. On the same day, Mrs. Machon, Mrs. Shoeboy, and Mrs. Telto also took the constitutional oath of office, also administered by the Notary Public, Darlene McNichols. On behalf of the Secretary of the Board of Education, my office forwarded the acceptance of office and the constitutional oath of office documents to the Macomb County Clerk. Tonight, for ceremonial purposes only, I will be administering the constitutional oath of office to Mrs. Machon, Mrs. Shoeboy, and Mrs. Telto for the listening audience to view, for the listening and viewing audience to witness their commitment to faithfully discharge the duties of Board Member of Education. So beginning alphabetically, Mrs. Machon, if you'd please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of this state.
and the Constitution of this state,
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties, Michigan,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations, Mrs. Machon. Mrs. Shoeboy, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of this state.
and the Constitution of this state,
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties,
Michigan,
Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Mrs. Shoeboy.
Thank you.
Mrs. Telto, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
of member of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties, Michigan,
Macomb and St. Clair Counties, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Mrs. Telto. At this time, we will do a roll call vote. Prior to the roll call vote, I will read into the minutes a letter received from Mrs. Jessica Sexton on January 7th, 2021. Attention, Brian Walmsley. As of today, January 7th, 2021, I am resigning from my position on the Richmond Community Schools Board of Education. It has not been an easy decision, but it is in the best interest best decision for my family and I currently. It has been an honor to serve on the Board of Education, and I look forward to seeing the great things that will continue to happen, in our district. Sincerely, Jessica Sexton, board member. So we will do the roll call vote. As the board members know, there were some changes to the roll call vote. So when I call your name, if you can identify that you are participating remotely, the township, village, or city that you are in, the county that you're currently in, and the state. So I will start with Angela Placido.
I am remotely, virtually from Richmond, Michigan, Macomb County.
State of Michigan. Mrs. Michon.
I am participating remotely from Columbus Township, St. Clair County, Michigan.
Thank you. Bridget Shoeboy.
Participating remotely, virtually, St. Clair County, Casco, Michigan.
Mr. Simmons, Kyle Simmons.
I am participating remotely from the city of Richmond, Macomb County, Michigan.
Mrs. Sutton.
I am participating remotely from St. Clair County in Casco, Michigan.
Mrs. Telto.
Participating remotely, City of Richmond, Macomb County, Michigan.
We have a quorum. I'm looking for nominations for the office of president.
I nominate Deborah Michon for the office of board president.
Mrs. Michon, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do.
Are there any other nominations for board president? Okay, hearing no other nominations.
Mr. Walmsley,
Yes.
I do have just a question before we go forward with the vote. I just have a question, Mrs. Michon, just as a board member. The last time you were before us about a year ago in front of the TV cameras, you expressed your distaste for Mr. Walmsley and how he physically and emotionally was working with him was too much for you and it caused you to have to retire early. So I'm just, as a fellow board member, just checking in. Are you all better? And are you ready to work with Mr. Walmsley as the board president?
Yes, I am.
So everything's better. You're all over everything that you said. Fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, I am. You're welcome.
Are there
Hey,
any other
Margaret,
questions?
just real quick. Your audio, I don't know if it's from my end or not, but it was going in and
That's
out the
not yours.
whole time. So I
Oh,
don't
it
know
is?
if you want to check it or turn it off and back on. I don't know.
While she's doing that, is there any other board members that have questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of Deborah Michon as president of the Board of Education for term January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
I got Kyle, but was there another one?
Yep. I'm no, Brian.
Okay, this one, Angela, you were a yes?
Yes.
Make sure I got it. Bridget, yes.
Yes.
Deborah, yes. And Danielle, yes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure. Okay, motion passes 4-2. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to President Michon to continue the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Walmsley. Okay, at this time, I need a motion for the nomination of the office of vice president. Can I
If nobody's going to nominate anybody, I'll nominate Angela Placido.
I accept. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Okay. All those in favor of Angela Placido as Vice President of the Board of Education for the term January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oppose?
Nay.
Motion passes. Okay, I need a nomination for the office of secretary. Are there any nominations for the position of secretary for the Board of Ed?
I nominate Bridget Shuboy for Secretary of the Board of Education.
Are there any other nominations for the position of secretary of the Board of Ed? All those in favor as Bridget Shuboy as Secretary of the Board of Education for the term January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any oppose?
Yay.
No.
Was that Kyle? Was there another? No, I want to make sure.
Yes, I was no.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion passes. I need a nomination for the office of treasurer. Are there any nominations for the position of treasurer of the Board of Education?
I nominate Danielle Sutton for the Treasurer of the Board of Education.
Are there any other nomination? I'm sorry, Danielle, did you agree?
Sure, I'll accept.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the position of treasurer of the Board of Education? Okay, all those in favor of Danielle Sutton as treasurer of the Board of Education for the term January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes. Okay, I am looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the agenda as presented in the attached documentation.
Do I have support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, at this time, it's public comments. As per our policy, any member of the public will state his or her name and address. Each person's public comments are listed to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
This is Sean. Everybody should be able to unmute themselves.
Teresa Ranger just raised her hand.
I think she can unmute herself.
She did.
Okay.
My name is Teresa Ranger. I'm a teacher at the elementary school. I teach first grade. I'm also the president of the Richmond Education Association. I just want to clarify a comment that was made at the December 14th meeting in regards to the 3% raise that Mr. Walmsley got. It was stated, and I quote, that goes in line with raises that were given throughout the district. But as the president of the teachers union, and I represent 85 teachers, just for the record, we did not receive a 3% raise. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Welcome.
Are there any other public comments? I'm not seeing any. Brian, are you?
Most of the pictures are just names, so anybody who's got a face showing, I'm not seeing any. I don't see any hands raised on the side. So I think that's all the public comment.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, our next action item, I need a motion for the approval of depositories for school funds.
I motion to approve PNC Bank, First State Bank, Fifth Third, and Michigan Liquid Asset Fund as depositories for school funds.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mrs. Michon, was that Mrs. Shoeboy who supported that?
Yes, it
I
was.
believe yes.
All right, thank you. Just want to make sure.
Okay, we need an approval of board members authorized to sign checks. I need a motion, please.
I motion to approve the board president, Deborah Michon, and board treasurer, Danielle Sutton, as Board of Education members authorized to sign checks.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support. I don't know if I can.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of a board designee to sign contracts, agreements, and purchase order.
I motion to approve the Board of Education Education's designee to sign contracts or agreements to be the superintendent or his designee, and purchase orders to be the superintendent or director of business and management operations.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of a day, place, and time for regular meetings.
I'll motion to establish the second and fourth Monday of each month at 7 p.m. in the Media Center of Richmond High School, or virtually as allowed by law, as the regular meetings of the Board of Education of Richmond Community Schools unless otherwise indicated on the attached documentation.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor? Whoops,
Hold on.
sorry, Bridget.
I'm sorry. Do we have the ability to go in person?
Brian, do we have the ability to go in person?
You can do in person. I'd have to follow up with what would happen with public comment. So I'd have to get clarification on that one.
Could
That
you
was
check?
not a question that was asked of me prior, so I didn't research it for this board meeting. So
How long can we go virtually?
the emergency order for St. Clair County is through March 31st, 2021. So it would be basically 2 meetings in January, 2 in February, 2 in March, unless they extended it, and then you could follow along that.
Aren't we Macomb County?
Part of our district is in Macomb County, so it's within the jurisdiction of where our district falls. So because St. Clair County had issued it, we can utilize that as a reason for being in virtual.
Okay.
Okay, but we could, Mr. Walmsley, you could check to see about the public comments so if we wanted to go in person.
Absolutely, I will check.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion out. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of designation of location for posting public notices and meetings.
I motion to approve the designation of location for posting public meeting notices on the district's website and on the outside of each building by the main entrance.
Do I have support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of fee charges to individuals who request notice of board meetings.
I motion to approve a fee charges to an individual who requests notice of board meetings in the amount of 1/10 the hourly rate of the administrative assistant plus postage.
Do I have support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of administrator to assume responsibilities of the secretary and treasurer.
I motion to approve the superintendent or his designee to assume responsibilities of the secretary and treasurer of the board, such as, but not limited to, recording clerk at meetings, elections officer, the notification to city and township representatives regarding tax collections, financial drawdowns, and account reconciliation, in an effort to maintain the operations and efficiencies of the district.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of administrator for electronic transfer officer, ETO.
I motion to approve Tammy Shedd, Director of Business and Management Services, or her designee, and Brian Walmsley, Superintendent or his designee, as the approved administrators for Electronic Transfer Officer, ETO.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of financial auditors.
I motion to approve Yale and Yale CPAs and business consultants as the district's financial auditors.
Do I have a support?
The company is Yo and Yo.
I'm sorry, Yo and Yo.
Thank you. Do I have support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion for the approval of attorneys.
I motion to approve the following firms as legal counsel for Richmond Community Schools: Collins and Blaha, PC O'Reilly Rancilio, PC Seacrest Wardle and Truen Law Firm.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion?
Can I just ask why we have so many?
Absolutely. A lot of times it depends on what the topic is. Like, for instance, Collins and Blaha and Truen are a lot of labor relation attorneys. We've used O'Reilly Rancilio for policies or for real estate transactions. The Seacrest Wardley is part of the special education lawsuit that the districts all came together to sue the state of Michigan for the unfunded special ed. So we have a portion that we pay. If we don't pay that, then we aren't part of the settlement office. So it depends on the topic. Sometimes it could be If we need a quick answer and we use a closer one, so we're reducing cost for mileage, or if they need to come on district, again, it just depends on the topic. Trune is our primary one that we use for bond, special ed, student discipline, negotiations. But we could use some of the other ones too, depending again on the topic or the need.
Okay, thank you.
Did we have support for this motion, or did we get a motion?
Yes, you did.
We did, I'm sorry. Do we have support?
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle
Thank you.
supported it, yes.
And we did discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we need a couple of motions for our Board of Education designee for legislative committees. So the first one is, are there any nominations to represent Richmond Community Schools on the Michigan Association of School Boards Legislative Relations Network?
I would be willing to be the representative for that. I've done it in the past.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, I would need a motion for Angela.
A motion to approve Angela Bacido to represent Richmond Community Schools on the Michigan Association of School Boards, MASB, Legislative Relations Network.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Or
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, are there any nominations to represent Richmond Community Schools on the Macomb County School Boards Association, MCSBA Legislative Committee?
I motion to approve Daniel Sutton to represent Richmond Community Schools on the Macomb County School Board Association Legislative Committee. If you'd have
Danielle,
it, you're standing.
Danielle, do you accept?
I'm gonna have to decline because I don't know what it's all about.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
I would be willing to be the representative for this if it's possible. Am I allowed to do both, Brian? The county and the state?
You can do both. You can do both.
I would do both, but I would need somebody maybe to fill in occasionally if I couldn't make it. Most of them are going to be virtually probably this year. It's only required usually one meeting a month from one of them, and not even that from the state.
I think we have to do an alternate anyway.
Yes.
So when we get to that part. So are there any other nominations for this one? Okay, I need a motion, please.
Motion to approve Angela Bacido to represent the Richmond Community Schools on the Macomb County School Boards Association, MCSBA Legislative Committee.
Do I have a support for this motion?
or
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, are there any nominations to represent Richmond Community Schools as an alternate on the Macomb County School Boards Association, MCSBA Legislative Committee?
Maybe can I nominate Danielle Sutton? Would you be willing to be an alternative, or you, maybe Bridget, and maybe figure out what it's all about for the first year through?
I wouldn't mind.
Cool.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, I need a motion, please.
I motion to approve Bridget Shoeboy to represent Richmond Community Schools as an alternative on the Macomb County School Boards Association Legislative Committee.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion?
I would like to say that I think as many of us that could should show up to these meetings. They are very informative, and there's so much to be learned, you know, through attending them. And as them being virtual this year, it will probably be easy to just like kind of access the ones you can. And I don't think you have to always reserve like you do the in-person meetings. So it's a little easy if you know last minute if you can make it. So but that's it.
Thank you, Angela. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, at this time, I'm looking for a motion to go into closed session.
Pursuant to Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act, I move that the Board of Education go into closed session to consider materials exempt from discussion or disclosure by state or federal statute.
Do I have a support for this motion?
Support.
Any discussion? If I'm correct, Brian, we have to do a roll call vote.
Correct?
Okay, Angela,
Aye.
Bridget,
Aye.
Margaret,
Aye.
Demishon, yes, Kyle,
Aye.
and Danielle.
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we are going to be going into closed session. We are back in open meeting at 8:59 and we are closed. Our meeting is done. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.